Welcome to your Scorpio Yoga Flow, yoga for Scorpio signs. Bring your feet together at the top of your mat and inhale as you soften your gaze or perhaps closing down the eyes. Pratyahara, inward drawing of the senses. Drawing your senses inward into the depths of your being. Scorpio loves to penetrate intensely and deeply into the darkness, inward, dropping into, yes, the psyche, and allowing for that intense focus of Scorpio to concentrate on the breath, breathing in, inhaling, exhaling, focusing intensely on the breath, deepening the breath with every exhale. And inhaling, expanding, filling the low belly with the breath. Exhaling, contract, hugging the navel in intensely. And staying focused, using your scorpionic power of concentration, precision, and intense focus to drop into that meditative state. The methodology of meditation requires us to draw our senses inward with a soft gaze, perhaps a drishti or a gaze focused in front of you on the floor, or maybe you'd like to flow with your eyes closed through this practice as you drop down ever deeper by virtue of the breath, anchoring your awareness on the breath, breathing here. And exhaling, feeling the sensation of the breath on the nose. And as you breathe with bated breath, concentrating on the sensation, how does it feel, and observing the breath with euphoric expectation. Expect that the breath will deliver you into a state of bliss, that enlightened state. Observe the breath, focusing the mind and anticipating euphoria, bliss with every single breath. And as you perceive your breath with your intense focus and observation here, noticing the subtle flavor of the prana, the life force, perceiving ever more subtle euphoric sensations that the breath is providing. And breathing here as we flow through one breath, one movement, anchoring down through the feet, inhaling, one breath, one movement, tracing the movement with the breath like a shadow. Arms come up as the shoulders melt down. Open the heart, gently look up. Exhaling, hands come through heart center, Anjali Mudra, bowing down into a forward fold, perhaps bending the knees as you release the brain and the head. The brain is heavy in the head. The neck is relaxed. Inhale, gently lift and lengthen, forward fold, hugging the navel in. Tail comes back as the crown comes forward. Release, separating all 10 fingers, shoulders over wrists. Exhaling, full prostration to the earth. And coming down completely here, resting the third eye on the ground, stabilizing the mind. Scorpio is the fixed water sign representing emotional extremes. It's this intense passion for emotional connection. That can also be power struggles, the desire to possess and control. So just here, allowing the mind to be stabilized and perhaps visualizing as if you had a drain at the level of Ajna Chakra, the third eye, but space between the eyebrows, center of the forehead. Imagining all the thoughts pouring out of the brain to be regenerated, recycled into the earth. Another key word for Scorpio: regeneration, transformation, death, reabsorption back into the earth. Just imagining those thoughts spiraling, swirling, and then draining down into the earth beneath you as you stabilize the mind here. And then we're going to lift up a little bit, hovering the hands, rolling the shoulders back, pressing into the mat with the stomach and even pubic bone here to lift the shoulders, look up, and exhaling down. And then this time, bringing the hands closer to the feet, straightening the arms, palms facing down. And we're going to press down through the pubic bone here, maybe tucking the tailbone. We're going to keep our legs really straight, maybe pointing the toes, and we're going to lift up both the legs and the knees off the ground, as well as the shoulders and the head, and looking forward, long gaze, don't kink the neck back, inhaling up, Shalabhasana, and exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And one more time, inhaling, staying up here, flying in Shalabhasana, strengthening the low back, pressing into the earth through the pubic bone, activating Svadhisthana chakra here, the second chakra, the sexual center. Scorpio also rules over our sexuality, desire, intimacy. And exhaling, release down. Beautiful. Press up, plank pose. Stay here for a breath. And then pressing back into downward facing dog. Lift the hips. Look at the navel. The brain is heavy in the head. Maybe you want to pedal out the feet here for a moment. Pressing back through all 10 fingers. Lifting the seat even more. Concaving through the low belly as you gaze at the navel. Breathing deeply here. And releasing into this 5 breaths here. Allow the breath to transform you, transport you, and anchor, ground your awareness on your breath. As you deepen the breath here, perhaps bringing in that Ujjayi breath, victorious, passionate, intense. Scorpio is a very successful sign often when you can engage, leverage, focus your powerful emotions on a pursuit, a single pursuit. Inhaling and exhaling. Perhaps the heels melt towards the earth as you lengthen through the hamstrings. And we're going to look forward, bend the toes, demi-point, lift the seat up even more as you push back, look forward, and we're going to either hop or just step to the top of your mat and rounding up the spine, coming up one vertebra at a time. Chin comes up last. Inhaling, arms come up, shoulders melting down. Open through the whole front body, tucking the tailbone, pressing the pubic bone forward. Exhaling, hands come to heart center, closing down the eyes, finding your equilibrium, noticing the axis of your being, your plumb line or cord channel along the spine, Sushumna Nadi. Breathing in, drawing your energy inwards, Pratyahara, inward drawing of the senses, breathing here. Bringing in that victorious breath, allowing the low belly to be the engine of the breath, pumping the low belly, filling it like a balloon with every inhale. And exhaling, hugging the navel in, compressing the low belly here. And as you breathe in, filling the whole body with breath, the lungs, the low belly, gently bringing in a slightly constricted throat. The throat gently, ever so gently constricts to bring in that Darth Vader sound. Listening to that sound and bringing in that sound of the Darth Vader or oceanic breath, the victorious breath. And now we're going to move through Warrior 2, coming into a chair pose here, sitting back as if you were in a chair, long spine. You should be able to see your toes. We're balancing a little bit here. You can even lift up the toes, maybe place them down on the earth one at a time as you get even longer through the arms, gently gazing up without kinking the neck here, and exhaling, bowing hands through heart center, straightening the legs. Maybe there's a micro bend, forward fold, gently lift and lengthen. Crown comes forward as the tailbone comes back. Exhale, release, separating out your fingers, shoulders over wrist, step back. Active legs, the heels are reaching back as the crown reaches forward. Isometric contraction in our plank posture. Hold here, focusing your intensity on the breath. And coming through Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows in here, bending, and then flipping over either both toes at the same time or one at a time, dropping the pubic bone towards the earth, protecting the low back here by keeping the knees straight, lifting the thighs off the ground. Shoulders are over, wrists rolling back here. And then I'm going to lift my heels or lift my seat up towards the sky, rolling over either my toes at the same time or carefully one at a time, lifting my seat and then lifting the right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Knee comes to the nose and then placing the foot through between both hands, rising up into warrior, okay, warrior A. We'll keep it traditional here. So a slight angle at the back foot. The right knee is over the right ankle here. My left hip is coming forward as my right hip comes back to allow my hips to square towards the front. As if I had headlights on both my hips, I want to point them forward here in my warrior A. My feet are on railroad tracks, parallel. And then lifting the arms, breathing here, warrior A. Opening the arms up towards the sky, maybe even a gentle back bend. Bringing the hands through, connecting with Ajna chakra, connecting with the heart. And then coming down, bringing the hands to the earth and the foot now between the hands. And then stepping back into our plank posture here. Isometric contraction, heels reach back as the crown comes forward, hugging the navel in. Exhale, my elbows are in. Dropping the hips, rolling the shoulders back, gently look up, lifting the seat, rolling over the toes, exhaling back. Focusing, concentrating intensely on the breath, anticipating the breath will transform you. And lifting the left leg up high to the sky, knee to nose, placing the foot through the hands, and then dropping the back heel down, warrior A. The left hip pulls back as the right hip pulls forward, noticing the feet are on railroad tracks, parallel. And then lifting the arms up towards the sky, maybe opening the heart, lifting up and out of the pelvic bowl as the hips square ever more forward. Breathing deeply, opening the heart and bringing the hands through the heart center, placing them on the ground mindfully with awareness, and then stepping back into our plank pose, pausing here before coming through your chaturanga, like I'm in a stick posture almost, dandasana, and opening the heart, dropping the hips, lifting up the hips, and either one at a time, rolling over the toes, or both toes. At the same time, if that feels safe for you, lifting up the seat towards the sky, and 5 breaths here. If you want to help relieve any stress or tension, then taking lion's breath with me, inhaling deeply, and as you exhale, open the mouth, stick out the tongue, and make a ha sound as you exhale, roaring like a lion. And then coming back to that Ujjayi breath, completing your 5th breath here. Lift the seat, bend the toes, demi-point here, and then look forward and either hop by bringing the sacrum forward and rolling up from your forward fold, stacking vertebra by vertebra. Arms coming up, maybe opening through the front body here safely, bringing the hands to heart center, taking a moment to pause, releasing the hands down by the hips. Beautiful. Coming again through our chair pose here. We're going to just fly back into drinking bird, lifting the hips, finding some balance. Scorpio benefits most from seeking homeostasis, which is that optimum state of health. Homeostasis, balance. Because Scorpio tends towards extremes, and the pendulum always swings both ways. What comes up must come down. So Scorpio really benefits not only from tapping in, yes, to its intense power of focus and concentration, but also from balancing out those extremes by taking the middle path, homeostasis. Beautiful. So just coming through drinking bird, lifting the heels here. Finding balance by focusing the drishti or the gaze on a single point and then coming through chair. And taking that a few times, lifting the heels. My balance isn't great today. The balance can help us see the condition of the mind. Beautiful. And standing up here. Well done. And then let's just flow to the mat, opening the heart, bowing forward. Gently lift and lengthen, placing the hands down, shoulders over wrists. Beautiful. Opening the heart, pressing back, downward facing dog, and then this lifting and either hopping through to a seat. I'm just going to ground down for a moment here, finding that grounding and stabilizing energy. The opposite of Scorpio is Taurus, that earthy, rooted, salt of the earth energy. So we're just going to tap into, balance out that intense Scorpio extremes by rooting down, sitting up nice and tall here. And then we're going to lift up, reach up, and reach forward towards the toes, getting a nice hamstring stretch here. Just grounding down, feeling into that connection, feeling your sit bones on the earth, and perhaps even imagining as if you had roots penetrating down deep into the soil beneath you as you stay lifted here in this pose, rather than rounding or concaving the spine, just keeping it active for another moment. Breathing deeply here, and then allowing for yourself just to round, taking this more into a yin restorative posture, super vital for Scorpio to regenerate and restore, to have that downtime. And maybe you want to take a block to support you here, to take this more into a yin posture, bypassing the muscle and getting into the connective tissue, like braces compared to reps of the muscle, repetitions of the muscle, pulsing the muscle, engaging the muscle. Here we're bypassing the muscle, so we're just going at about 70% of our full capacity and using props to support us to get deeper into the connective tissue. And we'll be here for a moment, so resting deeply and drawing your attention towards your breath. Taking a moment here to soften and release. A few more breaths. Feeling grounded, heavy, supported by the earth beneath you, with your roots driving down deep into the earth, the darkness, the fertility beneath you, and imagining what it would be like to have these roots connected to the entire web of life, the mycelium network, all the fungus that is regenerating us, that is so regenerative. Beautiful. And then gently rolling up, and we're going to roll down into our corpse pose, our final resting pose, Shavasana. Perfect for Scorpio. Releasing into your Shavasana, final resting pose. Scorpio is the sign that rules over transformation, death. And like the phoenix rising from the ashes, Scorpio too, through its intensity and emotional extremes, can have many different rebirths, reinventions. So here, wearing your identity and your past like a loose garment, and just letting it go, surrendering, releasing, trusting in the cycle of life. As you release into your final pose here, melting into the earth beneath you, imagining a warm wave of relaxation wash over you from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. And feeling the harmonious, balanced distribution of all the energy you cultivated in this intense, short practice for Scorpios through your entire being. A sensation of homeostasis, a real balancing of the nervous system. Finding that beautiful, balanced ventral state for your nervous system to feel so good as you lay here, safe, supported, grounded, held. And staying here for as long as you possibly can, pausing the video or just ignoring me if you can stay here longer. And then whenever you're ready, wiggling your fingers and your toes Bending the knees, placing the feet on the earth, reaching up overhead, and then rolling over to one side. Shoulder, the bicep becomes a pillow for the ear. And we stay here in this regenerative fetal posture, honoring this transitional, transformational moment before rebirthing ourselves, coming up. Again, breathing here, sitting up nice and straight as you root down through your sit bones, perhaps getting a little taller as if a string were pulling you up towards the ceiling. The chin is parallel to the earth. Bringing your hands to heart center, inhaling and exhaling. Taking a moment to feel the virtue of gratitude and letting that dopamine that gratitude triggers really rewire the brain here. Feeling a moment of gratitude without an object or attachment, just gratitude for the sake of gratitude for your life. One more breath. Together, inhaling and exhaling. Thank you so much for joining me, Scorpio family.